Now let's talk about something that's got everyone talking. Everyone that is aware of this fast developing news story. An investigative piece has been done by a Nigerian journalist about how easy it is to get certificates from outside this country in record-breaking time. In fact, it is not supposed to be humanly possible to get a degree in less than 2 months. But somehow it is possible, and he has done it, which has raised eyebrows. And beyond just raising eyebrows, it has also motivated the federal government to take drastic actions by suspending accreditation for university degrees coming from Benin Republic and Togo. Now this has once again put the spotlight on the educational system here in the country and all of the elements that continue to undermine its growth and development. And let's try to make sense of this development to underscore why conversations like this are important if we're supposed to reform the education sector for better service delivery. Joining us from Yola via phone is the chapter chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities at Modibbo, Adama University, Dr. Jibreel El-Maude. Doctor, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me this morning. How is Abuja this morning?
Abuja is doing great. How is Yola?
Yola is nice too.
Right. Okay, first of all, as a lecturer, I believe educated here in Nigeria, not Cotonou, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Give us a sense of what you make of this controversy. I mean, this is not the first time we're hearing about things like this. For most people, it's an open secret. However, this new revelation has given us a different dimension to it. How easy it was for Umar Audu, the reporter in question, to get it without actually even going out of the country to the university. It was easy for him to get this certificate. Your reaction to this development?
It's a common knowledge to Nigerians that a lot of people, including our union, have made this revelation that people are going to Cotonou. People that could not make it here in Nigeria will just go to Cotonou before you know somebody is done. Somebody will be serving, will be doing his NYC. We call the attention of NYC, we call the attention of many Nigerians that this is very illegal. This one is undermining the capability of Nigerians in the education sector. But the government turned deaf ears and they refused to listen to us. But we thank God for the revelation made by Omar, who did that practically and has all the papers at hand to prove beyond reasonable doubt that truly what Nigerians were saying is true. But the question is, why would somebody from Nigeria, who decided not to study in Nigeria and go to abroad? It's because of 2 reasons. One, probably because you have deficiency of returning challenges of studying in Nigeria. 2, probably because of the incessant strikes that is normally bedeviled the Nigerian education sector. Now, if you look at it from both dimensions, it now boils down to the inability of the federal government or the state government to do the needful vis-a-vis funding our universities so that our universities can be competitive. And despite the fact that our universities are not as expected, cannot be favorably competed with other universities globally, but I am too sure Nigerian university is far, far better than universities in Togo and universities in Cotonou. It's unfortunate we are having this kind of scenario when we have the resources, when we have the wherewithal, when we have the capability, the men, the label that can do exactly what everybody can do. I kept saying, wherever you go in this world, you see, you find one Nigerian lecturer. If you go to Oxford, if you go to Texas, wherever you go, Cambridge, you realize that you are going to see a Nigerian who is excelling. A Nigerian who, that university are part of it, they don't want to let him go. We have other universities whereby they even make our professors here in Nigeria to be their vice chancellors because they know what they can do. But unfortunately, the government does not take education serious in Nigeria, and that's why we're having these challenges. We're going to continue to have more challenges that are dangerous than the one we revealed by this reporter. And very soon, if necessary attention and care is not taken, challenges will continue to surface. Unfortunately for this country, particularly our leaders who are bringing us and forcefully drag us into this mess.
Right. Just a quick apology. We're trying to rework that graphic. I'm sure that illustration does not necessarily point at Adama State on the Nigerian map, as you can see on Dr. Jibreel El-Maude's graphic there. So while we're working on that, Doctor, just your reaction to the federal government's, swift reaction to suspend this accreditation. For most people, it is apt, but for some, it's too little too late because, like we all agreed, this is an open secret. What do you make of the federal government's reaction to suspend accreditation for degrees obtained from Cotonou and Togo, for instance?
I am commending federal government for taking this drastic action. I think it's a welcome development. It's timely. This is the right time for us to do. Not necessarily disallowing people to come with it, but also those who are using it already. It should be investigated and necessary action should be taken against them. Because you cannot go and get a degree within 6 months and become unbroken here in Nigeria. The problem is in Nigeria, once your certificate is abroad, they will give you preference than the one that you obtain in Nigeria. That's the difference we have. Thinking that whatever is a foreign product is far better than the domestic product we have. Whereas it's not like that. Majority of them, I know 1, 2, 3 people that cannot finish in our university, but before I know, they were in this department, they couldn't make it in this department, they were taking another department within the same university. They went to three different departments within our university. Couldn't make it at Lai. But before you know, I saw them with NYC Kaki. What are you doing? I'm serving. When did you graduate? I've graduated from Cotonou. So look at the case of Abdullahi. Somebody cannot, because of deficiency, cannot finish here in our university, but can go to Cotonou and finish. Worst of all, is that most of them do not even enter school. You just apply, you pay, and you're being given a certificate. And you come here because of the respect we have, high respect we have for foreign degrees. Somebody will just come, present, and you're giving a promotion compared to the other ones that are entering the same place. So it's unfortunate. I commend them for taking this action, but they should also go further by investigating those people who are already working with such certificates, and necessary action should be taken against them.
All right, Dr. Jibreel, I would like to also get your thoughts around what we can do holistically beyond just this pronouncement, to stamp out this kind of desires. If you recall, this is not the first time that this is coming to the show, as you have said. It's public knowledge. Sometimes in 2021, I know the NUC came up with a list of universities that they consider fake or are not recognized in Nigeria. And there are quite a number of them that made the list from these two countries precisely, Benin Republic and Togo. And at that time, they revealed that Nigerians were also picking up PhDs in a record 6 months, as against 4 years or thereabout, at minimum that you will spend in Nigeria. What can we do, to permanently take care of this problem? Because you have mentioned one, that there are mostly students who can survive in Nigeria. But if you take a closer look, you would see clearly that this is a criminal act and perpetuated by Nigerians, who go across the border, set up this institution, get accreditation from the host country, only to begin to return this kind of menace to the country. What kind of solutions are there? Is this something we can do on our own, or we have to find a way to partner with these countries to be able to deal with this?
This is a very simple case. Government should do the needful by making sure that our universities are working. Our universities should be competing with any other universities. I sometimes appreciate the effort made by our TED Fund by saying that there are some certain courses that whatever you want to do, whether it's master's, whether it's first degree or PhD that you want to do, you are going to do them here in Nigeria. But it's only those universities, those programs that you are doing that we don't have experts that can handle that one in PhD level or at MSc level, that's one they can sponsor to go on abroad. And it's very good. It's a good idea. But the problem is, have the government improved our universities to the extent that somebody who finished MSc in Nigeria can favorably compete with somebody who has or MSc in England? The question is no. The wherewithal are not there. The resources are not there. Lecturers are not happy. Students are not happy. The universities are not working. Things are not working. There's no way you can stop. Once this thing is addressed, believe you me, a lot of nonsense will stop, because this one is a global embarrassment on the education sector, meaning a colossal insult on all of us as Nigerians, that we allow from someone that will go there and do. And federal government should investigate who are the real owners of such universities. If they are Nigerians who got through group approach, got these universities affiliated, let's say action should be taken on them, and such universities should be cancelled forever.
All right. What do you say about what appears to be a very potent collaboration with our own officials in Nigeria? The accreditations are done in Nigeria. Most culpable in this would be, of course, the same Ministry of Education and the Foreign Affairs Ministry that sort of validates these results before they are mobilized for NYSC. What should we do with their culpability as far as these issues are concerned?
Collaborations are done globally. Collaborations are allowed globally. But the issue here is that what kinds of collaboration is being done in this regard? Let's go have the Nigerian, the NEC, or whoever has hand in it, have they visited such universities to see the instruments they have, the buildings they have, the structures they have, the lecturers they have? Have they asked questions from that government, the government of that country, what such universities have decided, what are their measures, what are the necessary issues they take? All these ones are already being done. You know, Nigeria, once you have your money, you can have your way, and that's all. Because all it's not about giving students qualitative education is their prime concern. Their prime concern, how are they going to make money? And because they know in Nigeria, once you have a foreign certificate, then you are going to have money. So people are willing to go there, get their certificate, come here. So as I said earlier, when I was answering Abdullahi, that it's not about stopping people from bringing such certificates. Or even if you have, the NYC certificate that you have should be confiscated from your hand as well as the result. So that you can go back and follow the normal process of obtaining valid certificate, valid result. Then you can go and serve if you still have the years ahead of you. Otherwise, you can necessary action should be taken. So we are not encouraging that one. We are going to stop all necessary action. In fact, federal government should also investigate who are those people who are giving accreditation within NRC. Who are those people who gave those foreign Cotonou university accreditation? What procedure have they followed? If they are found wanting, also necessary action should also be taken on them, so that all of us will release the necessary thing in Nigeria.
Right, and in talking about the nature of this challenge, for instance, let's talk about what many see is perhaps emblematic of a bigger problem, and that is this lack of standardization that for the most part, a lot of people see some of these students over the time pass come back in record time, and that is motivation enough because on the one hand, you have your union, ASUU, always on a disruptive strike action that makes the educational pursuit of most Nigerian students unbearable for the most part. And then there's also the issue of what do we do about others who are legitimately going about their studies in those same countries, because we're not running with the assumption that all the universities operate in this particular manner. How do we square this circle so much so that we are not scapegoating Benin Republic and Togo?
You see, our union understood very well that our universities are not working as expected to work. We are producing graduates that we cannot be proud of, simply because the resources needed to provide important knowledge needed are not being provided by the owners of these universities. And nobody is talking about that. But because of the law we have for this country, we took the challenge. Sometimes I say, oh no, federal government will stop our salary for 8 months simply because we want this university working. So it's not about, we are still maintaining our position of life that if there's need for us to go on strike tomorrow, we'll go on strike again. With the view to see that we are making government to provide enough funds for these universities, so that you can graduate a product, and that you can raise their shoulders up that this product can be productive, this product can be sellable, this product can be employable wherever he goes around this world. It has been done in the past. We still have the men that can do that here now. So what you are saying, let us do that one. So I'm like, we nobody should see ASUU as any challenge. I went to university in Nigeria. There was series of strike during my time. I have graduated. I'm like, the strike is meant to ask government, please government, put money in this university so that our university should also work effectively. So nobody should see ASUU as a hindrance for its graduation. It's not about that one. We don't want to be graduating people who cannot even write their name. People, if somebody will have a class, what's the class offer? Come and write application letter, I'm like, you cannot write. Simply because he just passed through universities and then he do not get what he's supposed to obtain while at the university. That's number one. Yeah. Number two, I'm like, on the issue of universities that are of standard, that one, it's okay, we don't have problem. Once you have gone to the universities that are okay, that have standards, it's not a fake, it's not a 6 months BSc or 1 year BSc. It's okay, I'm like that, we don't have quarrel with that one. In Nigeria, we also have 3 years program. If you go through a DE, if you have a 4 years program. So if they have something like that, even if it's 2 years in their own, maybe 2 years, maybe they say if you have your diploma, it's 2 years. If that is a standard in Cotonou, let it be. Our concern is this one that Omar reported. There are many of them, and I know, like I said, I know one that couldn't make it at our university, but came back with a good result and sat here and is now one of the person who is working in Nigeria. So people like this one, I think they are making bring embarrassment on our heads.
All right, Doctor, there are 2 other questions I would like you to attend to. First of all, I'd like to gauge your perspective on whether you think this ban should be limited to just Togo and Benin Republic. We are surrounded by a number of countries where people keep showing up with certificates and you cannot gauge the level of standardization. So should we see more countries? We have seen results from Uganda, we have seen from Namibia, we have seen from Cameroon.
Not even, the ban should be extended to all universities globally. We have fake universities in Malaysia. What I mean fake, highly low-ranked universities. Yeah. Low-ranked universities. So it's not about Cotonou. Globally, wherever Nigerians are going to study, once that university is not of standard university, should be banned.
All right. The second leg, yes, the second leg to that would be the presumption that all that is below standard is something outside Nigeria. We have also seen mushroom universities in Nigeria, and I'm sure that incidences like this happen where you can walk in with a bag of money and they could just give you a certificate and of course mobilize you because they are situated here. What do we do about the avalanche of universities that appear to be glorified secondary school, if you like, that have littered all of our cities around in the bid, you know, to multiply private universities in Nigeria? What do we do about our own in-house cleaning so that what we reject from outside do not find fit in this country? That's one leg of the question. The second leg is there something we can do, as we have seen with some of the advanced climes, where if you are coming into their country with a certificate that is outside what they have issued, you go through some kind of certification. So it's not enough for you to have graduated from a university. There should be some certification in that your line of profession that sort of certify that whatever you are holding is at par with whatever their local universities produce. What can we do, you know, to put up systems that would average out what should be the minimum standards for you to practice in a country?
Thank you very much. Like the first question, I agree with you 100%. We have mushroom universities in Nigeria, and people know about them, and people are patronizing them. This one, the whole blame should go to NEC. NEC is the person recognized by the Constitution that you should be giving accreditation to these universities. How could, for the sake of God, for goodness sake, that NEC will give a mushroom university that have only one building? One building, simply because the owner of the university is connected and his university will be accredited. I think this thing should be stopped. I appreciate, as I said, I commend the effort of this, the Minister of Education around. But let's be a benchmark now. We are started. We are going to continue that one. Not that the one we start shouting, and after a year, after 1 week or two, it will just keep down, and nobody hear about it. Mutually, the nurses, we know all of them. They are mostly private universities. They should all be cancelled. We have enough universities in this country. And unfortunately, because of this democracy, like before Buhari left, almost 50 universities, newly private universities were approved. And if you go to them, all of them do not have these needed facilities. So it's unfortunate. Things like this should be cancelled. All Muslim universities should be cancelled. But the question is, if you kill all the Muslim universities, where would they go? When the universities that have Muslim universities, the federal and the state that we have, and the federal one, are not up to standards. They are lacking in all ramifications. It's unfortunate. So even if you want to address this issue, then the government should do needful. Parents of universities should give enough money to these universities. You cannot have universities that you cannot adequately fund, and you will not be creating new ones. It's unfortunate. That's number one. Number two, it's true. I don't want to even say we should allow people to go to universities that are below standards. Let alone spending more money again and giving them another training. No. If you want to go to school, please go to school. If you don't have the ability to go to school in terms of deficiency, please do not go to universities. Do not go to school. Go to where you think you can get something and eat. It's not a must for everybody to go to university. If you have the ability, particularly the mental ability, you can go to university. You can get scholarship. You can go to if you want to go to university, go. But if you don't want to go, please don't go. We don't want to open another loop whereby our money, our national state will be spent in giving the certificate. That's only for that. Please, if you want to go, go there. Universities are being accredited by our NEC so that you know you are going to school. We don't have any much problem on that. Okay. That's my take on that.
Speaking to one of the vice chancellors off the record, and his take is that for so long, they've been voicing out this particular concern to the authorities at the higher level to no avail, but also that in his university he has taken a position to not employ certain degree holders from certain universities. In terms of employability, do you see us putting the standardization in that manner, especially at the government level, that if your degrees or PhDs or doctorate are from ABC universities or ABC countries whose standards we cannot verify or whose standards are not aligned with our own priorities, we're not going to employ? Do you think that in itself is going to discourage people from pursuing those easy-to-get degrees?
I appreciate the courage of that vice chancellor, but the question is, would that vice chancellor have that power to implement that policy that he had? By the time a particular governor, by the time a particular senator or a member of House of Representatives send his candidate from that university, can he have the courage to say, we are not packing him? It's going to be hard for you, I'm lying. It's going to be hard. Politicians are the one who are, most of them are the one who are sending their words to this university, for instance, and they're the one that will come now if you come. I'm like, go and check. Most of people are working in good places, highly placed institutions in Nigeria. You see them with these universities, and they are connected. I hardly can you see a former child sending his own child, a former child, going to that university. You hardly can see that one. So it's hard for the vice chancellor to say, I am not going to employ you. It's not going to be hard for him. It's not going to be hard. But if he's going to do that one, I think it's a good intention, and I will approach him to do that. But it's going to be very, very hard. Anyone that you want to employ in Nigeria today, if you want to be recruited, that chancellor can to recruit, you have to go to Abuja. And anywhere you go to Abuja, already they have their own candidates that they want you to give. For them to give you 10 slots, they will give another slot so that you are going to employ. And the person they are going to give you, it does not matter whether he has requisite knowledge or he has the certificate. Once it is their candidate, that's what you can do. So that vice chancellor is going to be hard for him, except if all the vice chancellors we are going to have a guidance policy that says people that have this kind of universities are no longer interested in, are not going to be employed in Nigeria. It's going to work. For instance, how many can you see somebody with a class for 2-2 teaching because it's a general policy, it's first class and 2-1. So if they can make that one a standard base, whereby once you have degree for a particular university, you are not going to be employed. Otherwise, if it's not written, if it's not being gazetted, it's going to be hard for that person to implement that intention.
All right. The Ministry of Education had told us clearly that they had set up a committee interministerial committee it is that would investigate some of the findings of the journalists. But we are also very good, as you know, with setting up committees, the outcome of which most of us do not know, or even the implementations as the case may be. We just come up with something to respond to the public outcry around that revelation. What do you think, in very concrete steps, we need to take beyond just announcing that committees have been set up and punishments according to civil service rules will be meted out to government officials who are found guilty? What measures, concrete measures, do you think as a nation we need to put in place to check what is going on?
No matter how scientific and technical is the outcome of the report of that committee, if it's not in line with what government wanted, it's not going to see the light of the day. I give you a typical example of what happened to ASUU during our 8-month strike last year. Federal government set up a committee under Professor El-Maude Jibreel. We finished everything with them, spent months with them, spending our resources with them. We have arrived at a particular position. Government outrightly rejected that position. After that one, government also formed another committee under a Daybreak committee. We went through the same rigorous process, wasting our resources, wasting our time. At the end of the day, government refused to look at that one. So Nigeria, if the outcome of this investigation find out that majority of the countries are well collected, you will not hear anything about that report of that committee. We are good in doing that. We are good in doing this in the country. So it's going to be those if that's not taking, it's going to be waste of resources, waste of time. You will not hear about the report of the committee. How many committees that we have in the past that the government refused to listen to this? Nigerians will be crying, please implement, and the federal government will not be willing to implement. Especially the people who are found to be culprits are people who are just normal people, ordinary people in Nigeria. Then probably the implementation is going to be on them. But if they are highly corrupted, how can you hear anything on that committee?
Sadly, what you're saying is what many Nigerians can relate to about the inability of the federal government in most cases to be committed towards a solution-driven approach. And we've seen the education sector take the brunt of some of these inadequacies, especially in terms of funding. We're just talking about the allocations for the 2024 budget and how underfunded, grossly underfunded the education sector as well as the healthcare sector has been for yet another fiscal year. But we're going to have to leave the conversation here for now, Dr. Jibreel. Thank you very much, as always, for being readily available to share your insights on some of the developments within the sector. Really appreciate you very much for joining us on Daybreak this morning. Right, we've been speaking to Dr. Jibreel El-Maude, a lecturer at Adama University in Yola. He's also the ASUU chairman of Modibbo University chapter, speaking to us about that bombshell revelation by a journalist of Daily Nigeria who exposed the certificate racketeering involving one of the universities in Cotonou in Benin Republic. I think it's ESG.
Yeah, I took out time sometimes in 2018, 2019 to visit. It was one of those long public holidays that would come in addition to the weekends I get. And I was bored. And it just occurred to me that I could jump into Cotonou and try to see stuff for myself. So I went into Port Novo, where you have most of these universities located. The Daily Trust structure, if you have any idea, can house 3 of those universities that I saw.
Right.
Yes.
You're talking about headquarters here?
Yes. I went right into the structures. I saw that they were run by Nigerians. The principals are Nigerians. Most of the academic staff are Nigerians. And most of the students, of course, are also Nigerians. They live around that vicinity.
That explains the whole racketeering thing.
Basically, that's what's going on there. There's nothing more to it. I saw quite a number of them. They didn't feel like if they come up with very big names, and you know what they have done is to set up get the local accreditations of those sovereign nations and set up affiliates in Nigeria where they feel they can get huge patronage at what you would call a very discounted rate and push out these universities as much as possible. If this government is serious and wants to do an audit of the number of persons in the civil service that had come in, you presented this result, it will be alarming how much of these numbers.
Especially people looking to get ahead in the civil service,
absolutely.
For instance.
I mean, this has been further celebrated by people in the Nollywood industry. A number of them have picked up PhDs from those places. They have to drive with
so many of our politicians
I've also done the
doctorate there, and you just find yourself calling somebody doctor when you know for sure
he didn't go through any
he didn't earn it.
No.
I mean, he bought it, but we know that that's not the way it's supposed to work. And all these cutting corners, it's something that has come to symbolize our society, sadly.
Very sad.
But also, it has grave dangers. Imagine people with 2-3 degrees that are not employable.
And you know what's also interesting? That you can pay with the naira.
Right.
Yeah. You will be shocked. It's just an extension of the Nigerians.
Listening to Omar, he said, listen, he did everything right here in Nigeria. He didn't even have to go to Benin Republic. He did everything right here, and after 6 weeks, he got his result. They sent it to him. He said it's like ordering food on an app.
That's right.
You're ordering a university degree, online.
That's it.
You're not even going to study. You're just getting the certificate.
Yeah.
And we all know how our society loves certificates. It's never about how intelligent or how productive you are. It's almost how many certificates. What is your certificate about? Is it a degree? Is it a PhD? Is it a doctorate? And sadly, this is where we find ourselves. And hopefully, this will not be yet another mediocre approach towards addressing this problem. Because, like we've stated over and over, it is an open secret. This is not necessarily a bombshell revelation, even though it tells us another dimension to this particular story. But of course, it remains to be seen what more needs to be done. I hear that the ICPC is also interested in this certificate racketeering case, and it will be interesting to see how some of these developments unfold in the next few weeks and months to see and gauge the commitment of the government towards addressing and sanitizing the system. We'll take a quick break. Daybreak returns after this. Join us again.